Let me throw a number at you and see how it lands. $60. That's what a mother and her daughter paid for 2 regular hamburgers on the Las Vegas Strip. Not steakhouse burgers, not some chef's tasting menu. 2 basic burgers ordered because they were hungry, not because they were celebrating anything at some fancy restaurant. They were eating inside a casino most people associate with budget-friendly Vegas, Johnny Rockets, and when the receipt came, they just stared at it. If you haven't been to Vegas recently, this is the part that's going to catch you off guard. The city you remember, price-wise at least, isn't there anymore. Not gradually changing, fully replaced. And food is where people are noticing it first, because burgers are the baseline. They're the control group. When you're trying to figure out how expensive a city really is, you don't look at steakhouses or nightclubs. You look at burgers. Simple, familiar, no surprises. Except now there are surprises. For a long time, Vegas had a rhythm that worked. You accepted that gambling was stacked against you, but everything else softened the blow. You could eat late for cheap. You could grab something filling without checking prices. You didn't feel punished for being hungry. That was part of the appeal. The city gave a little back. What's changed isn't just that food costs more. It's that the middle disappeared. There used to be choices. You could go cheap, you could go decent, you could splurge if you wanted to. Today, the starting point is what used to be the splurge. Walk the Strip and try to sit down for a burger that feels reasonable. Not gourmet, not premium beef, just a burger. You'll quickly realize most places don't even bother offering a lower option anymore. The floor moved up. And when the floor moves, people feel it immediately. Most visitors still arrive with old mental math. $15 for a meal, $20 if it's a nice spot. That's how people budget in their heads, even if they know things are pricier now. So when the menu starts at $25 or $30, the reaction isn't just disappointment, it's stress. People feel like they miscalculated before they even ordered. And once that feeling shows up, behavior changes. You see it in how people eat. They hesitate. They scan menus longer. They skip drinks. They split plates. Meals stop being relaxing and start feeling like problem solving. Vegas used to be effortless. Now it requires extensive planning and constant price checks. A lot of this shift crept in quietly, and celebrity restaurants played a role whether they meant to or not. Once big names started attaching themselves to burger joints and casual dining, price expectations shifted. A burger stopped being judged on what it was and started being judged on who was selling it. When people see a well-known chef's name, they brace for higher prices. The problem is, they don't mentally isolate that experience. It bleeds into everything else around it. Visitors don't think in categories like celebrity dining versus regular dining. They just think, oh, this must be normal now. That's how $30 burgers stopped sounding outrageous and started sounding inevitable. And then came the QR codes. On paper, they're efficient. In practice, they change how people spend. When prices aren't visible before you sit down, people fill in the blanks optimistically. They assume it'll be high, but manageable. Once they're seated in scanning, the reality hits. But now there's pressure to stay. Nobody wants to get up and leave once they've committed. Nobody wants to feel awkward on vacation. So people stay. They order. They pay. But they don't forget how it felt. That feeling matters more than the price itself. Vegas has always been expensive in places. That was never the issue. The issue now is when the cost reveals itself too late. There's a difference between choosing to spend and being cornered into it. Gambling is optional. Shows are optional. Food isn't. By the time most people sit down to eat, they're already worn out. They've walked miles. They've been overstimulated. They just want something simple without thinking too hard. Food is supposed to be the pause button. When that pause turns into sticker shock, it colors everything else that comes after. Suddenly, every decision feels heavier. Another drink feels unnecessary. Gambling feels riskier. Staying out longer feels less appealing. People don't talk about that part much, but it's real. What makes it worse is that people remember bad food experiences more clearly than gambling losses. Losing money at a table blends into the trip. Feeling annoyed and hungry sticks. That's why this shift is changing how Vegas feels overall. You'll hear people say the Strip feels emptier. Technically, it isn't. The crowds are there, hotels are full, but the movement is different. People move with purpose now. They go where they planned to go. They eat where they researched ahead of time. They leave once the plan is done. Wandering used to be the heartbeat of Vegas. That's how people discovered places. That's how money flowed naturally. Curiosity drove spending. When food feels unpredictable or overpriced, curiosity shuts down. Vegas turns into a checklist instead of a playground. This hits repeat visitors the hardest, the people who used to come back year after year, the ones who filled slower nights and midweek stretches. They knew the city well enough to relax in it. Those people don't storm off in anger, they just come less often, or they stay shorter, or they keep more distance. And that quiet pullback matters more than any viral clip. Food is where people feel the change first because it's unavoidable. Everyone eats, everyone notices. And once that moment goes wrong, it resets the tone of the entire trip. Vegas still knows how to attract people. It still knows how to extract money. What it's struggling with is how to make people feel good doing it. That feeling of generosity, the sense that even if you lost, you were still taken care of. That's what's slipping away. So when you hear about $60 burgers, don't think of it as a food story. It's a signal. It's the moment where people realize the old deal doesn't apply anymore. And once people notice that, they don't explode. They adjust. Quietly. Alright, your turn. When was the last time food prices in Vegas genuinely caught you off guard? Do you still eat on the Strip, or have you changed how you handle meals altogether? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoy straight talk about what Vegas actually feels like right now, hit subscribe, and I'll see you next time.